Good morning, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's start sharing. Here we go. So, um, okay, we're all set, and I want to start by showing my little uh, Garden of Eden here. So I'm all set up here. I hope you can see our garden here. Some roses and some peony and some other margaritas there. Yeah, so it's nice, nice environment. Trying to get in the mood to give some. So I want to start by sharing with you. Today is a very special day in Sweden, Stockholm, and Copenhagen. They celebrate 60 years ago. Sun Myung Moon, True Father, established holy grounds in the Copenhagen Botanical Garden and in Humlegården in Stockholm. So they are having in Stockholm outdoor Sunday service and celebrating this 60 years ago. Interesting. And the tree is still standing in both places, I understand. Okay, so today's sharing, I call it sharing, will be about time and the providence. The sermon title was time, but actually time and providence is more accurate. Yeah. Let me just arrange my screen here a little bit so I can see the slides myself better. One moment. Okay. So let's see. Can get next slide. Yeah. So this is like your introduction then. What is time? If you ask someone what time is it, they look at their watch and they say it's 11:08. That is the normal concept of time. Of course, you think about the time now, here and now. But we know that this is very, very small measurement of the whole time concept. So we have the Earth's rotation, that is the day and night, and we have the Earth going around the sun, that is the year. And then we also have the sun's movement against the stars, and that is the galaxy, and that is important for the concept of signs in astrology. You know, it's like, of course, the movement is sort of relative. The stars or suns so far away, so it's more like a human concept about this. That I will talk about this later. That we are in a certain time of Arius, and that was the Old Testament, and Pisces, fishes, that is the New Testament, the Christianity, and now we are in the time of well, as you will see. Okay, so we talk about this, yeah. So we have the zodiac, so we are now in the Aquarian, the new age, the age of Chongelgok, the age of true parents, return of Christ. So here we can compare, we can see this signs also. So we have the Old Testament, it's of course more than 4,000 year old, starting already in Adam's family, and the Cain and Abel sacrifice, and then going all the way up to Jesus coming, and then where we came into the sign of Pisces, fishes, and that is the New Testament. So we have 2,000 years of Christianity. And what is Christianity? Well, Jesus became fulfilled the first blessing to become perfect and to become an ideal human being. But for 2,000 years, until the coming of true parents, we have not had any Christian claiming to have reached that level. So it is like providence that was sort of interrupted according to divine principle. Jesus should have reached the marriage and the second blessing and the third blessing already 2,000 years ago. And that's where we are today. So it's very hopeful looking at it this way. So the reappearance of Christ and true parents, that's where we are now. And the time of Chongelguk. So we have another concept of time. We have the biological time. We have a human conception, birth, cell division, from the very start, and we are born. You say like that is the first birth, and the second birth is when we grow old. Most people grow old and die natural death. That is the second death, and we go to spirit world. So generations come and go for all eternity, and this will not change in the time of Chongagoku. We'll get new generations, but reaching the blessings, no? Like individual perfection and marriage, second blessing, and then we will have a peaceful world, hopefully. So that what we see around us now, the wars and all the sufferings, they are like birth pangs for a new world. You know, like the mother giving birth to a child. She goes through a very traumatic process to give birth. But then when the child is out, they put the baby on the mother's breast, you know, and the mother is just shining with happiness. So all the pain is past history. So this is a little bit like the world. The world is going through now a very painful process. If you look at the news, daily news. Okay, so then we come to the concept of spiritual time, and that is very interesting because according to True Father's teaching, and many spiritualists have claimed in the books that there is no time nor distance in the spirit world, and that is a very difficult concept for us on this physical world to comprehend how it's possible. But anyway, that is the claim. So I sort of anchor that in the Bible words that whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. So this is like God's creation. He created that way because the three blessings should have been fulfilled in Adam's and Eve's family originally. That is the original created concept of the world's development. But it never happened, as we know. So that's why the whole spirit world is affected. What will be bound or loosed on earth? That is like you say God's original blueprint for the creation. So had there not been any fall, we would have an ideal world, both on earth and in heaven, and continuing people dying, being born and dying, going to spirit world in perfect marriages, or divine marriages is maybe a better word to say, divine marriage. So divine Christ, Sun Myung Moon, he loosed opened the doors, another expression, for divine principle, and the blessing started in 1960. So that was a delay in my thinking. You don't need to agree with that, but in my thinking, 1945 to 52 is the original providence that True Father talks to many times about. So, but he was rejected, sadly. So there had to be a sort of second plan, and that was the founding of our church, 1954. And then very grateful and thankful to True Mother, she accepted this mission and fulfilled it. This is very important to praise True Mother for fulfilling the marriage of the Lamb in 1960. Okay, I have to speed up a little bit. I see. So I'm talking too much. Yeah. Okay. So this is another concept about our time in the physical world. Only now exists. Maybe you know a book. It's called The Power of Now, and that became very popular some 10 years ago, something like that. It means that actually we can only work in the time of now. We can have a hope for the future. We can look at the past history and learn. You know the expression, if you don't know history, you are bound to repeat the mistakes of past history. So it's very important to look at the past history, both religious and historical, and like in all ways possible, and use that now for what we are doing to create a future. So we are creating a future, what we are doing now and not doing now. So like witnessing is so emphasized by True Mother now, and this is really like the now. Now is the time to witness about the blessing, divine principle, Shambhu Moran, and open the door for more people to come into this holy path of two paths. Yes. And both Jesus and Chan Myung Moon and Holy Mother Han could see the providential value of now. And that's why they always emphasized. So True Father said already in 1970s, he had the goal of 111. So one member find one new member every month. And that way they could, the goal was to reach 30,000, if I remember correctly, new members in the US. Probably it was within 1 year. And that was a condition. It was not fulfilled as far as I remember. So sadly, it was prolonged. So if things in the providence are not fulfilled, it will be prolonged. And many times new people will be chosen by God and Spirit world to fulfill, as we can see with John the Baptist and Jesus taking on that mission 2,000 years ago because he did not fulfill and follow Jesus. Okay, so we are building a greater future by working now. So here we can see another graphical picture. We have the Old Testament as the base, New Testament, completed Testament. The completed Testament was from 1993 to 2001, so the inauguration of God that True Father and True Parents they held. And that ended the completed Testament. So it was quite short, completed Testament, only 10 years. Now what will become 8 years. And then True Father started, this is very interesting. True Father started to talk about year one, Chongelguk, 2001. So if you look at the speeches, all the years 2001, 2002 was the second year, and the third year, 2005, the fifth year, and so on, until 2010. Then he started to talk about 2013 as the first year of Chongelguk. So I relate this to this picture here, like the completed testament age ended 2001 with the inauguration of God, and that was yeah. I don't know if I cannot really explain maybe or understand this completely, but anyway, it was like I think he was very eager to push the movement forward into the Chongelguk, the time of Chongelguk, and yeah. Anyway, 2013 is the official first year, as we know. Okay, this is True Father's word. Eternity does not start when we die, but at the moment we come to know God's will. And we can think about Jesus in the temple when Jesus read this about the coming of the Messiah, in the Jewish Bible, in the Torah, it says, and he was reading in the temple, and then he closed and he said, "Today this has been fulfilled," meaning he himself had come as the Messiah. And what happened? Did they applaud? Did they say, "Oh yes"? No, they tried to kill Jesus, according to the Bible. They had to push him over a cliff. But Jesus was so strong, his spirit was so strong, so he just went through the crowd that was sort of blocking him, and they opened up. So he was spiritual power overcame that scary moment. Yeah, and of course, True Father, 1935, he got the mission at the second coming, and True Mother, she met True Father first time 1956, and accepted in 1960. They were held the holy blessing. And we could say that was the time they knew God's will, and that started the eternity. So they brought this dispensation with them all the way. So I think, like looking back, when Jesus said this has been fulfilled today, he didn't speak anything about going the way of the cross. That came much, much later when he was rejected. So there you can see that the people's response is very, very crucial and very important for the fulfillment of a mission. And that's why I think we should take very seriously witnessing. And talking about myself, every time we go swimming, a nearby lake here, I always bring these small papers with me with links to the RAM principle and to unification teaching. And I try to give it to some person, at least one person, every time I go swimming. So it's like pleases me. Maybe I I don't get so great results from that, but anyway, it sort of satisfies my desire to fulfill. Yes. Okay. I think you can read what I write here. Therefore, while walking the path of faith in the course of your lives, do not procrastinate, delay, by deferring your providential responsibilities from this year to the next, and then to the year after that, or from your youth to your midlife, and finally into your old age. So it doesn't work. And like same in Christianity, you cannot say like, okay, I will believe in Jesus when I die. Just before I die, I claim to believe in Jesus, and then I go to paradise. So yeah, you should actually live a good life, a good Christian life. That is you could say the goal of Christianity, to live a good life here on earth and to be a Christian, good Christian. Yeah, so that goes for us also. We cannot live like that. People with such a lifestyle will die without having ever spent even one day of being one with the will over the course of their lifetime. They cannot go to the kingdom of heaven. So there you have it. Yeah, 1970. And here about the repetition of the history, providential histories. The time parallels in divine principle clearly shows the cyclical pattern in things repeating themselves on a higher scale, still striking similar. So you have this spiral. It's a very, very good graphical picture. So things are repeated, but like on a higher level. So you could say like the providence started from the very bottom, the fall of man, but it started already in Adam and Eve's family here at the bottom, and then through all those people who fulfilled Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the providence, spiral up. So similar things was repeated, but on a higher level. So this way, even like it took time, but the providence was moving higher and higher. And the reason is God's providence to make man Lord over creation. Man must fulfill her responsibility on earth. I could add. Yeah, that's important. So here we have time, the time scale. We talk about BC and AD, before Christ, and Anno Domini, AD, Anno Domini, Latin, for year of the Lord. And we can see two fathers spoke about the birth of Adam, 1st of January, second Adam, Jesus, 3rd of January, and third Adam himself, 6th of January, 1920. So this is moon calendar, according to moon calendar. Yeah. And now we have heavenly calendar then, starting from 2013. Here again, we can see John the Baptist baptizing Jesus at the at the shores of Jordan. That was really the starting point, where he was, as a representative of the Old Testament, John the Baptist was a representative of the Old Testament. He sort of inaugurated Jesus, to take this role as the Messiah. And it's clearly testified. So you could praise John the Baptist for his proclamation of Jesus as the Messiah. He saw this dove coming down from above, probably spiritual, and he proclaimed that this is the Son of God. And the completed testament, we have this time events, so 1960, 92 to 2001, completed testament, and then era before coming of heaven, era after coming of heaven, and now we're in the time of Jungle Book. Yeah. So let's carry on. I will speed up a little bit here now, so we can count this. The history, parallels of history. So the providence is conditionally time dependent. It means things being fulfilled or not fulfilled. And if they're not fulfilled, more time is needed. Yes, we can read there. Sacrifices Abel, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Rebecca, Tamar, Mary. Not to forget the women, the important women of the Old Testament. And Jesus being accepted or rejected. And then he was rejected, so Jesus had to go to the 40 days in the desert and sacrifice and overcoming Satan's temptations. And by doing that, he could stand on the foundation. He recreated the foundation of John the Baptist. So two fathers said many times, Jesus actually didn't go to spirit world or resurrect as the Messiah. He resurrected in the position of John the Baptist. And there's been many prophecies in Korea and also in Rome in the 70s about Lord of the Second Advent will be accepted, but it will be difficult in the West. I remember especially this prophecy. It will be difficult in the West, but easier in the East, Korea and Japan, as we can, from church history. Yeah? Okay. The providence is conditionally time dependent. Already I spoke about this, so I think we go forward. Sorry if you don't have time to read. You can listen to what I say. Indemnity is needed to give inviolability and perfection to the principle. So there's a reason for indemnity. God is perfect, therefore his principle should also be perfect. God created the principle first in the beginning, the very beginning. So like before there was any fall or any concept of fall. According to the principle of creation, God is to control perfected man through his love. So God cannot control an immature or unperfected being. Like Jesus said, you have to be perfect as your heavenly Father. So indemnity is needed to make God alone the creator. God controls and intervenes only in things which are created by him. So this answer the question, why didn't God, a loving God, why didn't he intervene with the fall of man? And that is because that was man's responsibility to achieve perfection by rejecting Lucifer's temptation. So in that concept, it was very sad that they were only teenagers, Adam and Eve. They didn't have the stamina of a mature 21 plus year old that could reject and actually ask Heavenly Parent, what shall we do? We are having this, we are getting this temptation from Lucifer. If that had happened, then surely they would have been given guidance by God. But you have to ask first, like the Bible says, you have to knock and then the door opens. Knock and ask, and then you get the answer. Prayer. Indemnity is needed to give man a qualification to be Lord of creation. That's the third blessing. So those things that are connected to the original plan for man, for mankind, fulfill the three blessings. But the first blessing cannot be achieved without two parents blessing us, forgiving the original sin. We have the original sin, and we have had it all the way from the first fall. So even Jesus dying on the cross, being resurrected, 2,000 years Christianity have not been fulfilled until two parents came. So you could say that the providence was halted, or it was on a new level with Christianity, but the Christians, the body of Christ, could not reach the level of Jesus because the original sin was there from generation to generation. Okay, so it's interesting here we have this connection with vertical time and horizontal time, earth time. So this is the importance of the religious history, you could say, because all those people involved, they created on earth this vertical time that was going forward in the spirit world. So that's why so many proclamations, True Father made so many proclamations on when he was on earth, but because it was like a step by step process, going higher and higher. Proclaimed he had opened this, he had restored this, on the next level, and that's all the way up to Chongelgok, Tommy Chongelgok. So God and man's successful effort together, that is what is making progress, both in spirit world and on earth, I would say. So, we talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and I believe very much that this is we could say a gift from God and the spirit world, and it can be used just like a gun. You can use it for shooting, getting food from animals, or you can use it for terror, like terrorist actions. So it's like up to us to use AI in the best possible way, and it can solve a lot of problems, like famine and starvation on the world level. So I think AI is a great hope, but also a danger. There's a danger involved that it will be misused. Okay, next slide. Okay, this again about vertical and horizontal. So religious or spiritual time can be seen as vertical time displaying horizontally, depending on God's and man's successful joint effort. Okay. So here, True Father talks about indemnity in 1972 in Germany. Indemnity is necessary. According to the principle, indemnity is not completed in a short time. For this reason, if the second man does not fulfill the indemnity, a third man is chosen for the returning resurrection. And I would say I will connect to some testimonies from members, because I heard several testimonies, like they witness to someone and maybe they join, but after some time they leave. But then another person joined who is maybe even more prepared and even better. So you can see like this way that it progresses. So even if several humans fail in their mission, there will be a progress, because God and Spirit world will send new people on earth to fulfill this unfulfilled mission, whatever it was. Okay, this you have seen many times, so I will not comment on that. It's like a little bit repetition, just the providence, Old New Testament, and now we are at the time of returning through penance, or not returning Christ and through penance. Yeah. And returning resurrection, answers the liberation and blessing is very central, because they can only grow from through us here on earth. So earthly life, earthly people are very important in the spirit world. Okay. Okay. So return and resurrection will take time. Education of spirits needed. Unification of 3 generations is needed. We can compare how it took time for Saul to be a convinced St. Paul. All the Christian martyrs were martyrs before Christianity was firmly established. So very difficult in Korea in the early days, in the 45 to 52, and then also in the 50s, a lot of persecution, and even going into 60s, 70s, persecution here in the West. As the movement progressed and indemnity was paid. So evil and Satan first attacks, and then God and the good spirit world can claim compensation. So it's not a bad thing that bad things happen, if you see it in this concept. There will be always a sort of balance in the end. So I'm very hopeful, actually, for these ongoing wars in the world, that they will end one day. All wars have ended. Also, these wars will end, and there will be some sort of compensation and restoration. Okay, I will just read some few lines from here, so we can finish this soon. The realm of liberation for 3 generations comes forth in this way. This is an immense and remarkable process. What will happen if such dream-like things come to pass? Your eyes will open wide, your mouth will open in awe, your ears will pick up, but you will then have to bow your head. So we must complete our mission to 3 separate ages. So it talks about this liberation of past and future generation, but it has to be done on Earth. So it's the same concept again, that Earth life is so important, and to use the time wisely. The family is the smallest unit that connects the past, present, and future. It's a microcosm of the world. Okay. From the grandfather to the father to the son, those 3 generations are to unite into one. The links of the past, present, and future should unite them, no matter how much the world pitches and rolls. Society will not adversely impact that sort of family. It will maintain a basis of happiness. It is people's original nature and tendency to seek the greatest love, so it is inevitable that we return to our family, to the grandfather and grandmother, our envoys of heaven, and the father and mother, as the center of the family, represent the king and queen of the world. Okay, that's nice. 3 generations. So God is sort of expressed through the grandparents. When these 3 generations join as one, the past ages of the spirit world are connected to the history realm, to the historic realm of love on earth, going beyond the present family and aligned with heavenly law and the future. In the future, then all people of the world will be able to unite. The family is the core unit of harmony. Ultimately, all humanity must bind together as one ideal family. So I think I'll end here. Actually, I feel this is a very good ending. So there are some more slides. I'll stop here. That this is really like I think I have a summary here also. I'll carry on here. So we talk about the golden age coming, the cosmic two parents of heaven and earth and humankind. They have opened the golden age. Sermon summary. That's the last slide here. Time. So what is time? Time is past plus future, and it's always present in the now on earth. Time does not exist in spirit world. This is important to understand. That's why the spirits, they return to earth, because they know that they can resurrect only on earth if they have not been blessed before they die. Yeah. Only what is bound and unbound on earth is reflected. So that is one of the main missions. I always say that Messiah, two parents, have 3 missions: to disclose the truth, that is divine principle, and Shambhu Moron. And talking about Shambhu Moron, I want to give some advertisements for Hanus. He's leading this reading before the Sunday service. So please join the Shambhu Moron reading and discussing. And second mission, to survive. And we know from True Father's biography, we know that he was close to death so many times in his life. So that is one of the mission also, not to die before fulfillment. And the third one is to have the marriage done, the marriage blessing. And that was what Jesus said according to speeches. That is what the first thing Jesus said to Father, 1935. Let's go to the blessing. Let's go to the marriage. So already this was 2,000 years. Jesus had been thinking about this stuff. So he's expressed it for Sun Myung Moon or young One Moon. That was his. That was his name at that time. Young One. Yep. Okay. Those are the three missions. Like I said. So never give up goodness. Witness to divine principle, Shambhu Moron, and true parents' blessing. And the bright future will surely be yours, ours, and mankind. Please join me in prayer. Thank you for attending. Dear Heavenly Parents, we have gone through many slides here, and I hope I could share some thoughts together with wonderful brothers and sisters there online and in the church place. And our thoughts go also to Sweden and Denmark today. They're celebrating this 60 year of holy ground, and we can see that we are a holy community. We are still alive and expanding slowly, step by step, but we are expanding, and that is the great hope of the future. So we need true parents. We need them to open the door to Jongelgok, to the eternal kingdom of heaven, both on earth and in spirit world. So please guide people to our movement now. Please guide us to connect with them and share wherever we can this wonderful truth and wonderful blessing that true parents have given us. I pray for unity and harmony now in Korea. It's a special time. It's a difficult time both in Japan and Korea. And somehow we can feel there's like some crucial turning point for the future. And we pray that you will protect the foundation, both in Japan and Korea, and what's going on there with this investigation into the president's, the previous president's doings, and his family, and his guide and protect all who are involved in this, and so we can have a most positive outcome. And I pray for a good a good Sunday, a good week for all our brothers and sisters here. Peace on earth, and please be with us, always guiding us, leading us. This I pray in holy attendance to Holy Mother Han and our names as members and blessed families are due. Thank you.